All right, all right. Hope this is working okay. Having a little problems as I was this morning. Obviously, there's no video. It wasn't working well in the morning. Hopefully, it's working well now. If you guys could let me know, is the video participating? Hopefully, it is. So we're getting better at this, but wanted to jump right into this. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. My name is Jason. Channel is a chain of blocks, guys. Simple. You guys are busy. We're trying to do these daily updates for you, keep you up to date on everything that's going on in the world of crypto, in the world of DeFi, blockchain, all of that good stuff. So yeah, Juan, you missed me this morning, Juan. We did one about 6 hours ago, but yeah, trying to do them more often. So let me know what you guys think. But anyways, so if you were here this morning, somebody super chatted me and I didn't really know what that was or how that worked, but basically they asked a question about the Beast token. So I didn't know too much about the Beast token, but I did do a little research on it, guys. And if we look here, look, it's one of these kind of hype tokens. I didn't know a whole lot about it. It is something that is supported, promoted, created by Mr. Beast and his channel. If you look over here, they do have a whole website going on here about what this actually is. Coin rewards you basically for watching Mr. Beast videos. So guy is seemingly a great marketer. This is a really cool idea in my opinion, because look, he already gets 50 million views on a video, but now he's incentivizing people with something that's new, and his audience is young, and they're into it, and they're gamers, and they're all these things. So if you look here at this white paper, it is another one of these deflationary cryptocurrencies. Obviously, they did some good art design here, but we'll jump into like page 6. You'll see here, like, they basically are rewarding the users for using the different cryptocurrencies for watching the videos, and depending on how the video does, depending on how long you watch it, they're going to do these random airdrops. So they're doing a lot of charity stuff, as he tends to do, a lot of giveaways. But again, just like your safe moons and your moon tokens, anytime you sell this, there's 100 billion supply. Anytime you sell this, they're going to tax you, or anytime you trade it, there's going to be a tax on it. So gets into the whole, see this 13% fee, the 10% Beast fee goes to all their marketing and all their giveaways, 3% go to the holders. So I don't know, it's not, if you ask me, it's not something that I'm going to be involved in. Let me know what you guys think, but I did want to do what I said and do some research on that. So let's see how everybody is doing here. Yeah, we're lagging. Sorry about that. I will work on it. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you. New software for me. Maybe I need something better, but if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. Do appreciate it. Let's see here. All right. So obviously, let me see how bad this looks on the lag. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Obviously, I'm talking, there's no movement here. So we'll keep it on this screen right here. I'll try to fix it for you guys. By the next session here, we'll get it working. I don't know, like I'm connected straight to the router. I don't know what's going on, but we'll get it fixed. And move over here, guys. So if we look at the market, which is absolutely on fire right now, bring up the coin market cap here, going nuts, right? Like Bitcoin is approaching 50,000. We'll refresh this while we're talking, but Ethereum going nuts. We're going to talk a little bit about Cardano. We're going to talk a little bit about Polkadot. But guys, if we look here, Bitcoin approaching 50,000, and look, the daily close, according to this article, is very, very crucial, and it looks like we are going to close in a bullish territory for Bitcoin. And the daily close is important here because we want to set a higher high, right? We've run up a little bit, but to set a higher high on this upward channel that we're working on is something nice here. So the higher high would be at a level, to me, it looks like about 47,600. Obviously, if we look at what's going on right now, we're above that, right? Well above that, stretching out to 50,000. So setting that new higher high could cause a run up past 50,000. There's not a lot of resistance up there, guys. So saying where it's going to go at this point is a little bit uncertain. But what is the daily close exactly? Because cryptocurrency, obviously trading all the time. Daily close happening in 17 minutes, 41 seconds. Obviously, the crypto market is 24 hours a day, guys, but there is a daily close that goes along with charting. For me, I'm in Los Angeles. It's August 20th, and that's at 5 p.m. So 5 p.m. daily close. So we're coming up down at 17 minutes. We'd like to see a new higher high for Bitcoin. Would be a bullish sign. And let's come over here. Look at money makers. Yeah. So if we look at the other cryptocurrency you guys all love, Cardano, looking close, entering that price discovery mode, targeting $3, guys. And similar news here, if we look at Cardano, from a technical perspective, the last 24 hours have been absolutely fucking insane, right? It's gone up 54% on the 12-hour chart. And look, if you look here at this, the way this is drawn out right here, guys, and I wish I could make it bigger. Well, let's see if we can make it bigger here. Yeah, perfect. So if we look how this is drawn out here, little flagpole action here where you have this upward moving flagpole. Then you come into just a slight downward sending channel. That's the flagus. So you have the pole going up, you have the flag here, and now we've broken up of this downward sending channel. So when this happens, it's pretty bullish, especially if you can stay above the channel support, establish support above here. But generally what you'll do is you'll take the length of the flagpole up to the top and then measure it from the top of the breakout here. And that's how you can predict where the top might be. So further buying pressure could cause ADA to push upward another 11% towards that, what they're calling 287. And again, that's how they got that 287 with the measure and move right here. But again, if unable to hold that support at 247 could be, not so good. And we could see a retracement level back to about 215, possibly even 190, guys. And if we look at where Cardano is right now, it's pretty interesting because 247 being that support level that they notice of importance, and right now trading at 245, guys. So it's interesting. That is on the 12-hour chart, so that's a half daily chart. So that won't actually close in 12 hours. Actually, that will. The half daily chart will close in another 15 minutes as well, guys. So we'll keep an eye on that. So interesting news for Cardano, as both Bitcoin and Cardano looking to close here. And if we move it along, guys, so that's kind of the interesting news in the market. Obviously, Polkadot, Solana. I think big news for Polkadot, and we'll get to that here in just a minute here. But some interesting news here if we look over here, guys. So look, we talked about it, Bitcoin mining being banned in China, but 60-70% of the miners are in China. So they had to leave. Where did they go? A lot of them went to Kazakhstan, as we noted. A lot of them went to the United States. Some went to Canada, some went to Argentina, El Salvador, but a lot here in the United States. And you have Blackrock, the world's largest asset manager, which manages $9 trillion of assets. Trillion dollars in assets. They have recently allocated over $382 million worth of shares to two Bitcoin mining companies. So Marathon Digital Holdings and Riot Blockchain. Check them out if you want to make some money, guys, because they are now the second leading shareholder of both companies, about 6.71% of Marathon and 6.61% of Riot. And look, when a company that manages $9 trillion in assets goes out and says, we're going to back two crypto firms, it's big news, right? So earlier this year, BlackRock's chief investment officer of global fixed income and head of whatever, Bitcoin is an interesting asset. I think it's durable. I think it will be part of the investment arena for years to come. And clearly they are putting their money where their mouth is. And why are they doing that, right? If you come over here, currently they're betting on the fact that this Bitcoin mining sector is raking in $44 million a day. $44 million a day. And a lot of that has to do with these people were kicked out of China. There was a time where they had to reallocate. So there was less mining going on. And I always compare it to Uber drivers, right? Like when there's less Uber drivers, the ones that are on are getting a surge pricing and they're getting higher work. They're getting more work. So there was a time where there was less Bitcoin miners. So the ones that were able to mine were reaping the benefits there. But as we see, the news comes amid a boom of Bitcoin miners firms based outside China coming in. Look, if you hear $44 million a day, you flock as fast as you can to that. So I think it's good. I think it's interesting. And it's interesting for the United States because now what we're going to have, right, as we talk about cryptocurrency regulations in the United States Senate with the infrastructure bill now moving to the House of Representatives, guys, and the SEC with Gary Gensler trying to, assert himself in and get ultimate power over cryptocurrency and DeFi. But what you're going to have is a lot of big industries in the United States involved in Bitcoin mining. So how far can they really go? It's kind of an interesting situation. So what do you guys think about that? First live stream. Yeah, so not, but thank you. I'm glad it's your first live stream. So I appreciate all the comments, guys. Thanks for watching. Let's move it along here. So talk about Blackrock. Let's talk about Polkadot, guys. And if you watch this channel, you know DOT, my favorite cryptocurrency, probably one of my biggest holdings, has been for a while. I've been holding Polkadot since it was in the mid $4 range. So, you know, I talk about it all the time, but they did have their first 5 parachain auctions, which happened about a month ago. And the way that these parachain auctions work for Polkadot, we've talked about this before. So they have Kusama, which is their canary network. Essentially, you know, they don't do peer-reviewed papers like Cardano. So a lot of you like Cardano. Cardano releases something to a very select few. They do these peer review of the select few, and then they make changes, and then they release it to more people, and then they make changes, and then they release it to everybody. Polkadot works a little bit differently because they have Kusama, which is essentially just like a glorified test network. So Kusama works in the same way as Polkadot. And the way these auctions work is they're going 5 at a time. So we've already had the first 5, and the first 5 came with Akala's Korora, which I gave away as an altcoin in one of my predictions video, Moonbeam's Moonriver, Astrar's Shiden, Fala's Kala, and the DeFi protocol Bitfrost. So those were the first 4 that bid on and won the auctions for Kusama. And look, winning these parachain slots on Kusama might eventually mean that you are a parachain on the Polkadot network as well. So it's big news, and it's also pretty expensive. And a lot of people are bidding for these, and they actually have a pretty cool way to determine how these parachain slots are selected, right? So it's an auction. So if you think of like a silent auction where there's a bunch of things up for grabs, and you can come in and you write your amount, right? So you write $100, somebody comes in, they see your 100, and they're like, oh, I'll go 200, 250, up and up and up. But the thing about a silent auction is it's going to go from like 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So with the parachain slots, to prevent somebody from like coming in at the last second and just like going $1 more, they have that whole area of that 6 to 10 period. In the parachain slots, it's a couple of days. So they give you like 2 days of parachain slots, open slots. And then after that, it's still open, but they go into this 5-day candle period. So like a candle, if you think of a candle, candle's burning, burning, burning. You don't know the exact second that candle is going to burn out. So similar methodology with this parachains, you don't know when the exact second that the parachain auction is going to end. So it could end at any time. So it prevents people from coming in last minute and going, boom, I go $1 higher than you, because you don't know when it's going to end. So it goes 2 days. Anybody can come in with their bids. And then after the 2 days, we go into a 5-day period. It could end at any time. So that's really cool. And I like how they do that. And they're going to go 5 more slots spanning from a time of September 1st to September 9th. And why is that important? Well, it's going to show that more and more applications are running on Kusama and able to run on Polkadot. And we've seen, look, everybody's paying attention to Cardano and Charles Hoskinson's shiny brown beard, but Polkadot's doing real things. Gavin Wood doesn't come out and tell you about everything he's doing and what he's eating every single day like Hoskinson, but they're doing real work over there. And when these parachains release, not only should you look at what are the next parachains, because these projects generally will increase in value because they're getting notoriety and they become public. Also, it validates this network, guys. And Polkadot and Gavin Wood very heavily involved in Web 3.0. So you know this project isn't going anywhere, guys. So I'm pretty interested. Let me know, what do you guys think about DOT? Are you holding DOT? Could you explain why we see Bitcoin rising so much and the rest of the market slacking? I don't know that the rest of the market is slacking. I mean, Solana's up 70% in like a 7-day period. ETH is just crushing it. You have, you know, a majority of ETH being held up in 2.0 contracts. So I don't know that the rest of the market is lacking, but generally speaking, you know, in history, Bitcoin has led the way. I think the Bitcoin leading the way as, you know, leading the way of this market, leading the way of it going up and down. I think those days are coming to a little bit of a close. If we come over here and look at just the overall market cap here, you see that Bitcoin dominance is down to 42.6%. Earlier in the year was up as high as 60%. So DeFi in itself is definitely growing much, much faster. Ethereum dominance is gaining as well. You now have ETH 2.0 contract as the largest ETH holder. So, I mean, it's hard to say that Bitcoin is crushing it when everybody else, Cardano's up 35%, Polkadot's up 35%. BNB's up 18%. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Bitcoin, but even if Bitcoin goes up and doubles right now at this level and doubles to 100,000, that's only a 100% move. And we've already seen, Solana past 70s, 90%. So it's interesting. We just got to wait and see, I think. But thanks for chiming in. Here from the Brave Browser. Yeah, I'm on Brave. It's just lagging. I don't know. I'm just kind of going to give up. I'm using a camera. Canon EOS, it's hooked up. I think if I were to switch to FaceTime, but the camera is pretty shitty. So hopefully you can hear my voice. Who wants to see my face anyways? And let's move along here. That was my thoughts on Polkadot. Matic. Let's talk some Matic. Polygon. Polygon set to implement DAO features. And this is big news, guys, because look, people were talking about it. Is Matic going to go away as Ethereum 2.0 comes on board? And we have, essentially Ethereum 2.0 doing the same thing as Matic. And Matic is making the strong case that no, we're just a really good integrator, not just for Ethereum. We're going to be for Cardano. We're going to be for Polkadot. We're going to be for maybe Bitcoin Layer 2 or Lightning, Binance Smart Chain, all of these guys. So besides improving the connection between DeFi platforms, Polygon's DAO funding hopes to develop on-ramps for digital wallets and institutions, just what I'm talking about. Examples of crypto projects currently or recently approved into the DAO concept include QuickSwap, seeing what's happened with them, SushiSwap, Aave, and Chainlink, guys. So they're not going anywhere. And we've seen, look, Matic has gone, talk about something that's just exploded over the past 7 days here, up 16%. So, but if we look even further, Matic was down at an area of about 80 or 90 cents. So right now at about 150 is up 100% over the past probably 30 days, guys. So I think Matic is definitely one of those things that is not going anywhere. And look, bullish pattern after 150% increase. And that bullish pattern is forming this inverse head and shoulders pattern. And look, we've talked about regular head and shoulders pattern. Usually that is a bit of a bearish pattern, but inverse means the inverse, right? So you have upside down head and shoulders. So you have a shoulder, head, head. And generally what this means is you had a sell-off here, rebounds a little bit, bigger sell-off, rebounds, sell-off. And now if we can break this level, which actually is sitting at about 151 and actually already has broken through that level. If we look here, Matic currently sitting at 154. So closing above that 151 level, extremely bullish for Matic going forward. So those are kind of the main stories I want to talk about. VeChain, I got to do some research on VeChain. Well, are you a holder? Curiosity? You hold some VeChain? It's one of those ones that everybody talks about VeChain and you just can't know about everything. And I don't claim to. If I don't know about something, I don't want to talk about, not that I don't want to talk about it, but I don't want to give wrong information. I'd rather just do a little research. I'll come back on a live next time. We'll talk some VeChain. But if you're holding it, come back on the next live and we'll talk some VeChain. Hopefully you'll be here as well. And hopefully the guy that did the Mr. Beast Super Chat is here because I did, do what I said. So, all right. Some interesting news here. So these are some fun stories that I just found. I didn't know how. I just thought we'd just group them all together. Bitcoin is really, and cryptocurrency is really making its way into everything, right? It's making its way into the government. It's making way into infrastructure bills. It's making its way for sure into pop culture. This came out a couple weeks ago. Actually, when they did the B word, the conference with Jack Dorsey, spoke with Cathie Wood and Elon Musk. American rapper Busta Rhymes confirms he holds Bitcoin and looking to get paid in Bitcoin. So right before that B word conference, he actually came out on Twitter and said, he was asking his followers, should I invest in Bitcoin or should I invest in Ethereum? And then after the B word, he came out with another tweet, says, good morning, thinking about this was after the B word, he came out and said that he, thanks to all those guys for putting out the information. And he bought that day. He bought Bitcoin. He said he didn't actually say how much, but then he went on yesterday and said, good morning, thinking about getting payment in Bitcoin for shows and future business dealings. Should be easier to do, right? Yeah, it definitely should be, right? You don't have to deal with the bank. You don't have to deal with the insane fees. Just give them your Bitcoin address. That seems to be, we talked about Paris Hilton earlier, a lot of these creators and these entertainers and these athletes, as we'll look at, here in a minute, they make a lot of money, but they also see that they pay a middleman a lot of money as well. So if we look down here, also wanted to thank Elon Musk, Jack Dorsey, Kathy Wood for the live videos back when they did the Bitcoin conference. Bought in that day and so grateful that I did. He's made quite a bit since then, obviously. And move over here, guys. This was probably the most interesting story that I saw today, and that I've seen in actually quite a while. So wild Bitcoin price explosion forces Sweden to return 1.6 million to drug dealer. And you're like, what? And I was like, what too? So basically what happened is they caught this guy, and he admitted to having 36 Bitcoin that he acquired through drug dealings in Sweden, right? Okay, so they confiscated, they got the right to confiscate all 36 Bitcoin, right? So they were supposed to confiscate that Bitcoin. This was a few years ago, and it was worth whatever it was worth at the time. And they were supposed to sell it right then and get that money and forever damages or whatever the case may be to pay it back. But the Swedish government drops the ball. They don't sell the Bitcoin. And then when they go to sell the Bitcoin, it had already 10x'd. So the 36 Bitcoin, to get the same amount, they could only sell 3 of it. And they weren't, because of a loophole, I guess, not even a loophole. It's just like the government's not allowed to make money on, a confiscation, essentially. So they couldn't they couldn't sell the entire thing. So basically what it means is they were only able to sell 3 Bitcoin at the current level. They got that money. They paid back whatever punitive damages were. But the 33 Bitcoin were still there. They have to pay it back to this guy who's now coming out of jail. And it equates to $1.6 million. I thought that was absolutely crazy. Sweden, go ahead and change your rules. Crypto doesn't actually work the same as fiat, guys. And another weird story. Woman buys a house with Bitcoin gifted by cheating ex-boyfriend. So this lady, I think this happened in the United States. I'm not sure. It doesn't actually say, but this lady got 0.5 Bitcoin years ago from her cheating ex-boyfriend, held it, wanted to go buy a house, didn't have so much money, could buy a certain level of house, but then she's like, oh, I got this Bitcoin, this 40,000, ends up cashing out $18,000 worth of her Bitcoin and buys an upgraded house. So, hey, if your boyfriend, girlfriend ever cheats on you, maybe you should ask for some Bitcoin as a little bit of a payment. No, don't do that. All right, and last story we'll get to here. Let me see, any comments? Exit strategies. Okay, that could be a whole video. Yeah. All right. All right, I'm going to do some more there. All right, so let's get to this last story here, guys. We'll take some questions if there are any. And big money sports deals may be working for FTX. Will they work for BlockFi? And my answer is absolutely they will. If you've been following FTX, they've been big. FTX is an exchange, crypto exchange. They are international. They are in the United States as well. If you've been watching Major League Baseball, they have their logo on all the umpires' uniforms. They also have a contract with Gisele Bündchen and Tom Brady. But BlockFi is in a little bit of hot water recently, regulations, things like that. So look, they're trying to possibly deter some of that attention, and they've gone after the number 1 pick in this year's NBA draft. That's Cade Cunningham. And look, they doesn't disclose how much they're actually paying him, but he's going to do a bunch of sponsorships for them. Whether it's Blockfolio with Trevor Lawrence or BlockFi now or FTX, you're going to start seeing these crypto companies front and center with different advertisements, whether it be for Super Bowl, whether it be on jerseys, whether it be sponsoring the Miami-Dade arena like FTX is doing. So it's happening, guys. Let's take another look at the market here, and we'll wrap up this video if there's no questions. Let's take a look here. And yeah, I got to fix this live stream video garbage that's going on here, but your most favorite coin ever? Bit. Not really a question. And yeah, I mean, like, look, Bitcoin's obviously, if you say something else, that's fine. But look, it's, to me, it's just the best. It's, you go from zero to basically worth $1 trillion, 12 years, no CEO, no employees, no board of governors, no bullshit, basically just kicking ass. And, I don't know anybody else that can do it. What about Bitcoin Cash? It's a knockoff. It's kind of like Ethereum Classic. So like they work. Some of these things work, but like what we might come to is a point where like, why do we need all these things? So look, and that's obviously simplifying it, right? Like I understand how Bitcoin Cash works. I understand it's a different block size and different speeds and things like that. So I get there's needs here, but I think what you're probably most likely to see is just more layer 2 for the actual Bitcoin, right? Like I don't know that we need to reinvent the wheel. Proof of work, Bitcoin, beautifully simple. I don't know that it needs to really change. It could. I mean, it could. What else we got here? Altcoins diving hard. So it's like, I don't know that they are. Maybe of the past hour or so, but yeah. So, all right, guys, we are going to wrap this video. Friday night, go enjoy yourself. Have a good weekend. Until the next time, be safe.